Hello my Wolfpack and welcome back to another episode of our Pokemon Competitive Guide videos, and today we are covering Great Tusk. Now this thing, I believe in terms of singles, is one of the most popular Pokemon, and I can definitely see why. It has a huge, and I mean huge, attack stat at base 131, along with a huge defense stat of, again, base 131 and base 115 HP, meaning this thing is a incredible wall. Not to mention, again, the fact that it has base 87 speed, which, whilst a little bit lackluster, if you can increase up that speed with something like Rapid Spin, you can definitely start to sweep teams thoroughly. Now, this thing has so many really good moves as well. It has Body Press, which allows you to be able to increase up, sorry, not increase up, it allows you to be able to hit with your defense as opposed to your attack. So if you're running a defensive version, Body Press is a really fantastic option to use. At maxed out, I think it gets near to 400, which is, again, really solid. Body Slam, which is a powerful normal type attack, has a 30% chance to paralyze. Now, if you can paralyze your opponents at half their speed, meaning this thing probably going to outspeed them. So you're going to then have a lot more power in terms of the fact that you're not going to be taking as much damage. Brick Break to be able to get rid of screens, which, you know, screens are somewhat common. Bulk Up to increase up your attack and defense, which are already diabolically high. If you can get one Bulk Up, then that's just goodbye to whoever. Close Combat, powerful fighting type attack, boosted by stab, hits super hard. Earthquake, obviously really good for doubles as well, but Earthquake just hits super hard anyways, again boosted by stab. Facade, if you get burned or anything, realistically the Facade helps to counteract that, but it's just an option to definitely run alongside things. Fire Fang, fire type attack to hit things like ice types and grass types, which you are weak to, obviously giving some super effective damage there. Headlong Rush, which is essentially the ground type close combat, obviously really destructive, going to hit super hard. Heavy Slam, you're super heavy, so realistically going to do a lot of damage. Also Steel type, hitting those fairy types, which are super effective against you, along with the ice types, which are super effective against you. You've got Ice Spinner, obviously having that ice coverage can hit really hard on a lot of different Pokemon. Iron Head, powerful steel type attack, again covering those ice and fairy types, so you don't want to risk it with Heavy Slam. Knockoff to get rid of items, one of the few Pokemon that does still have knockoff, which is really fantastic. Mega Horn as a bug type coverage to allow you to hit the psychic types and also the grass types, which you are weak to. And then you've also got Play Rough, again fairy type move, just hits a lot of different Pokemon, and Rapid Spin to also increase up your speed by one stage and get rid of hazards on the field. So Heavy Duty Boost is definitely an option for this Pokemon. I don't think I put it on any sets, but it's definitely an option there. Now, in terms of doubles, we have got a couple of moves that we are able to use. You have got Rock Slide, which is a really good rock type attack. It has a 30% chance to flinch the opponent if you go first. Protect, to allow you to obviously not get damaged by a move that turn. And also Bulldoze. Now, Bulldoze allows you to lower the speed of your opponent's Pokemon. If you can lower that speed once, maybe twice, whilst having good speed investment yourself, you are then able to use Rock Slide, again, at a 30% chance to be able to flinch them, and also having that high power is going to be really effective for you. Not to mention you've got the fact that the Stab Earthquake can also hit super hard. In terms of Terra types, obviously you've got your ground and fighting Terra types, which boost up your power anyways, which are really good. You have got the Ghost Terra type, which allows you to be able to kind of change things up, and with your resistance to the Dark types, then obviously you're able to go for the Ghost typing, allowing for you, in fact actually I think there's a little typo here, it should be 0.25 on the Bug, rather than 0.5 and 0.5 on Dark, as opposed to 0.25. I think I mistyped that one, but there we go. That's just clarified that. Ghost typing, yeah, it just takes away a lot of your weaknesses and allows you to have a super effective attack if you go for Terra Blast against things like Psychic types and also other Ghost types. You've got the Rock Terra type, which allows you to be able to get rid of things like your Ice weakness, allows you to get rid of your Fairy weakness, and you've also got the Grass Terra type, which Grass Terra type actually works quite nicely here. The only thing you'll still be weak to is the Ice type, and you do need to be a bit cautious with that, but you obviously will have the Stab Fighting to still be able to hit the Ice types for a lot of damage. So I would say, personally, I think Grass types are going to be one of your best Terra types in this case. Could definitely run Water Terra type if you wanted to, but there are lots of good Terra types in this scenario that you definitely can run with Great Tusk. Now, when it comes to Great Tusk, we have got the first set here, which is a White Herb set. Now, the White Herb counteracts the Close Combat / Headlong Rush negative effects. Now, with both of those, you reduce yourself by one stage in both your defense and special defense every time you use it. Now, the White Herb means that you are able to restore yourself back to your normal capacity. So White Herb, definitely a really solid opportunity to be able to use in this scenario. Put Ice Spinner on here as well, meaning that you can hit a few different Pokemon, and you know, Ice Spinner is just a really cool move. And also the Rapid Spin, allowing you to increase up your speed by 1 stage. If you increase your speed by 1 stage, realistically you start outspeeding a lot of different Pokemon. In terms of EV, you want this to be fast and strong, so max speed, max attack, Jolly Nature, so more speed, less special attack, and 4 EVs in special defense or defense, wherever you want to put them. You could go for the max attack if you wanted to. That's entirely up to you if you want to go for the adamant side. But just be aware that obviously with your Rapid Spin, you do start to outspeed more Pokemon if you go for the plus speed nature as well. You could even run this in a Sun team. If you run this in a Sun team, then it would work even better because you get 1.3 times power in your physical attack, which again, really awesome, absolutely fantastic. Moving on to the second Great Tusk, we have got a Choice Scarf. Now this one takes out that aspect of having to set up a Rapid Spin, but you've got your Choice Scarf to be able to make you a lot faster. Base 450 in your speed means you outspeed basically every Pokemon that you're going to be concerned about, and the only Pokemon that will probably outspeed you after that is going to be Regieleki, which basically doesn't have anything to cause concern to you. It mostly only runs Explosion or Electric type moves, and you have both of those covered. Move-wise, you've got Close Combat, Powerful Fighting type attack, boosted by Stab. I went for Earthquake instead of Headlong Rush this time. You could go Headlong Rush if you want to, but I thought Earthquake works brilliantly as well. Iron Head to cover those Fairy type weaknesses, and also those Ice type weaknesses, because why not? And then Play Rough, again, for a bit more coverage on a few more different types, things like Fighting and also Dragon types. EVs, again, same as before, max speed, max attack, Jolly Nature, allows you to outspeed the vast majority of Pokemon. You could definitely go for a Adamant Nature if you want to, but I would stick with the Jolly Nature because it outspeeds those Scarf Pokemon at base 100. Base 100 speed is a very common Scarf scenario, but you won't necessarily go for the plus speed in that scenario, so that does allow you to outspeed those different Pokemon. But yeah, this thing is just an all-out destructive mon that essentially you bring in kind of midway through the game, take out a Pokemon, possibly switch it out into another Pokemon, possibly sacrifice out or Volt Switch or U-turn or Flip Turn or any of that kind of stuff, and then come back in and hit really hard, possibly switch out again. Late game, you literally come in, click any of the moves and just completely destroy. So that's the idea with this Great Tusk. The third Great Tusk, we have got more of a supportive Great Tusk, and I've gone for the more defensive version here. We've got Leftovers allowing for some passive recovery each turn. We've got Stealth Rocks, which obviously will cause a lot of problems and reduce the amount of switching that your opponent is able to do effectively. And you've got Knockoff, get rid of any items. Items can be hugely beneficial to a lot of Pokemon, and if you get rid of them, it makes them really easy to deal with. Taunt, because you have got a little bit more speed than your typical Hazard Lead. Typical Hazard Leads don't necessarily get as much speed as Great Tusk, so you have got the Taunt option there, but you can always just run Taunt for a variety of different reasons, so if they're like a Recover spammer, for example. And then Body Press, you've got huge defense stat, use Body Press, that's going to do more damage than realistically one of your attacking moves, which would obviously be boosted by Stab as well. So EVs, max HP, max defense, Impish Nature, so more defense, less special attack, and 4 EVs in attack here as well, boosting that knockoff ever so slightly. You could put 4 EVs in speed or special defense if you wanted to, just depending on where you want to chuck them. It's entirely up to you what you go for. Moving on to the fourth Great Tusk, we have got a Bulk Up set. I've gone for Bulk Up Rest. In this scenario, I thought that was really interesting. I chose to go for Booster Energy, but you go for like Chesto Berry, you go for Leftovers, you go for lots of different things on this, but in this one. But the idea here is that you've got Bulk Up, Rest, Sleep Talk, Earthquake. Bulk Up allows you to increase your attack and your defense by 1 stage. Now, if you're sleeping and you get Sleep Talk into Bulk Up, realistically that's not really too bad because it still allows you to raise up your stats, meaning your Earthquake is going to be more powerful. And if you have, for example, no special Pokemon on the opponent's team, and the meta typically at the minute is very physically offensive. Looking at the Pokemon that are being used quite often, they are very commonly physical Pokemon, which obviously Donphan having really high defense means that it is able to deal with it. Now, EV-wise, you definitely could go for max HP, max attack. Adamant Nature, you could go for max HP, max defense. Impish Nature, like the last one, if you wanted to. It depends on how you're trying to play this. If you're trying to play this as a slightly longer game, as a kind of more safe scenario, then definitely go for the max defense. But if you're going for more kind of a power output aspect, then go for the max attack. But there is the higher risk of you dying in that scenario. Moving on to our final set, we have got a double set here. Now, realistically, when it comes to Great Tusk, the capabilities in doubles are slightly different than what I would say in my normal double sets. So here you've got Earthquake. Earthquake is definitely going to be better than the Headlong Rush because it hits both Pokemon. You do just need to be aware of your ally. Your ally probably needs Protect or some kind of immunity to ground type, whether it's through an air balloon or whether it's through being a flying type or levitating, any of that kind of stuff. Rock Slide, because, you know, the opportunity to allow for the opponent to flinch is definitely going to be beneficial. If you run this alongside a Tailwind Pokemon, that definitely will work really nicely for you as well. Terra Blast I put on here because it could be a really interesting one, especially if you put it into something like a Steel-type Terra Blast, or if you put it into, I don't know, Ghost-type Terra Blast, or anything like that. You definitely have the capability to cover a few more different types. You've then got Close Combat, powerful fighting type attack, obviously boosted by Stab. It just allows you to hit a few different Pokemon. But really, the point of Great Tusk in doubles would be for it to be a sweeper, for it to cause a lot of problems for your opponent. Now, Tailwind, Rock Slide are probably going to be your best combination. Obviously, you can take the Choice Band off, chuck on a different item, like even a Life Orb, and then go for a Bulldoze, which allows you to slow down your opponent's Pokemon, and then you can go for the Rock Slide if you don't have the Tailwind option, or if you want to have both options. Definitely that can work there, but you do need to be very cautious of things like Trick Room, so you might want Trick Room reverse support in your team in some scenarios as well. EV wise, as I said, all out beta. Realistically, you want max speed, max attack you want an Adamant Nature here. I've gone for the natural one because it's always processes Terra Blast as physical, but in this special, in this case, it would be physical. So you really want to go for the Adamant or the Jolly Nature. Probably Jolly Nature, but again, depends if you're doing Tailwind. If you're doing Tailwind, you want to go for the Adamant Nature instead, and then chuck 4 EVs kind of anywhere on that. But that is going to be it for Great Tusk. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please do like, subscribe, and comment, and let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Anyways, I'm going to get out of here, so have a good one, and I'll see you soon.